Hi friends, in this video let's talk about primary metabolites and secondary metabolites as given in our 11th standard NCERT biomolecule chapter. So for us to understand this, first we need to know what are metabolites. So metabolites are the compounds that are integral part of a biochemical reaction. So what is a biochemical reaction? You have a reaction A to B, B giving rise to C, C giving rise to D. So this keeps on going. Okay. So this is called a substrate. This is called as a product, which is the part of reaction 1. Then you have simultaneously reaction 2, reaction 3 getting linked. Okay, in a sequence. So this is what is called as a biochemical reaction, and the entire aspect of or the entire biochemical reaction taking place in a cell is what is called as a metabolic reaction, or in simple terms you call it as a metabolism. Okay, right. See, the compound that is integral part of this metabolic reaction is what is referred as a metabolite. Okay, say for example you have glucose metabolism, glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. I'm talking about the glycolysis, which everyone know, glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate. This keeps going till the formation of pyruvic acid. Now the glucose, okay, is a metabolite. Glucose 6-phosphate is a metabolite, okay, as it is a part of a metabolic reaction. Okay, right. Now what is the primary metabolite? The primary metabolite is an integral part of the reaction. Say for example, as I said, glucose, since it is a direct part of the biochemical reaction or metabolic reaction, it is not just a metabolite, but it is a primary metabolite. Okay, you are getting the point? It is a primary metabolite. Okay. So without the presence of glucose or glucose 6-phosphate or fructose 6-phosphate, the metabolic reactions remain incomplete, without which a cell or the organism cannot survive. Okay, so primary metabolite are an integral part of the biochemical reaction without which an organism or cell cannot survive. And where do you see primary metabolite? All living organisms do have metabolic reaction, because metabolism is one of the essential thing for a biotic thing in this ecosystem. Okay, so all organisms have metabolic reaction, which means that all organisms will have the primary metabolite, okay, which directly takes part in the biochemical reaction. Okay, right. Now, what is a secondary metabolite? What is secondary metabolite? See, some branching do happen from the primary biochemical reaction. You get some component, okay, and you label this component as a secondary metabolite. Say for example, you have a fungi penicillium notatum producing an antibiotic called as penicillin. So the penicillin, which is the branch of or the side product from the primary metabolic reaction happening in the fungi, the penicillin we call it as a secondary metabolite. Okay, and secondary metabolite is not a mandatory thing for an organism. Say for example, we have two things. One is the food, cloth, other one is the mobile, cell phone. Both are going to help us in some or the other way, but which is mandatory for our survival? Food. A person can live even without mobile, okay, but the mobile helps the person in in special condition for the purpose of effective communication. Likewise, primary metabolite are going to be a mandatory part of one's the cellular metabolism, or for this effective survival of the cell, functioning of the cell. There are secondary metabolite. Sometimes secondary metabolite will not have any role in the source organism where it is produced, okay, or sometimes the secondary metabolite will have a special role. Okay, say for example, there is a plant called as calotropis. Everyone will know whose flower usually we use it for the Vinayaka Chaturthi puja. The calotropis is usually not grazed by the herbivore, goat or cow, because the calotropis will have a compound called as cardiac glycosides, which usually repel away the predator. So the calotropis is actually not required by the plant for its primary survival, but it helps in some special case like repelling away the herbivore. Okay. So whereas the previous case of penicillin, what I have talked, the penicillin actually doesn't have much role in the source organism penicillium notatum, but people usually tap it and use it as an antibiotic. Okay. So in short, if you want to give the key differences between PM and SM, that is primary metabolite and secondary metabolite, Primary metabolite is an integral part of the metabolic reaction. Secondary metabolite is usually the branch of product obtained. It is seen in all living organisms. Which one? Primary metabolite. Secondary metabolite is usually seen in some special organism, like you don't see it in higher animal kingdom, whereas you see in some Monera, some Protista, lower animal kingdom, and most of the plants, right? Most of the drugs what we try to exploit from plants is usually the secondary metabolite, and even your biomolecule chapter would have given a list of secondary metabolite, okay, obtained from the plant and other sources. And fungi, as I said, the penicillin, the antibiotic, the fungi is going to be the good source of some secondary metabolite, okay. And secondary metabolite usually have different functions. Some act as a drug, some act as antibiotic, okay, some act as alkali, this drug. So the functions actually it's quite varied, okay. And I have talked about what is primary, secondary metabolite, what is the source, and third one is benefit. The primary metabolites are must for all the organism, whereas some secondary metabolites will have its role in the source organism, but some will not have. And we humans try to tap those secondary metabolites and use it for our own purpose, right? Hope I have not confused you, right? So this video should have helped you to understand the basic aspects of primary and secondary metabolite. So in case if you have any doubt, do give your doubts in the comment section. We'll be happy to help you. So let's try to meet in another interesting video. Until then, bye. Thank you.